things. Close your eyes. I've got to get the camera all set. Put it in a spot where I won't kick it. You guys can see everything. Zoom, zoom, zoom. I think that should do it for us. Look, I've got an ad already. No, thank you. I don't want YouTube Premium, but I appreciate the offer. We're good, we're good, we're good. Hello, hello. I hope everyone's having a good Saturday so far. Tuck my leash in. I'm working on my scrappy log cabin blocks. I hope you don't mind, but I started without you. Let's add some fun orange in. Hi, Linda. I'm going to have to warm up a little bit to the live stream. I'm a little, I have a headache and I'm a little worn out today. So give me time to become sociable. I'm sure you guys kind of understand how it can be. I used to be this amazing morning person, and now I really don't kind of get my day going until about noon. Hi, Candy from Illinois. Welcome, welcome. Oh, you know what we haven't done in a long time is checked our map to see if we have people from states that we don't have fabric appliqued in. Let me pull it down. Come here, map. It hangs on the back of my door. You probably see it in the background on the Whip It Wednesdays. So here's my map. So we need, this is for people that hang out with us on YouTube. Watch the videos once, twice, a few times. Hawaii and Alaska. Let me see if I can do my states. New Mexico, Montana, North Dakota, South Dakota, Nebraska, Kansas, Arkansas, Missouri, South Carolina, West Virginia, New Jersey, Connecticut, Rhode Island, and Vermont. Those are the states that we don't have it for. I have the appliques ready to go, but I haven't finished stitching everything down or even started because I wanted to see if we can get a few more states first. Hi, Terry. So if anyone is from the missing states, let me know. And if you're from the other states, I am doing a tally. Let's see if I've misplaced. Nope, it's still here. So if you haven't told me what state you live in, or if you want to claim a state that you were born in, I'm also doing a tally to see which state has the most viewers. And based on our tallies, it looks like, oh, sorry, this stupid thing makes a lot of noise. We have 7 in Arizona and 8 in Ohio. So Ohio is winning. So if you guys catch us in a replay, you can leave it in the comments if you want to claim a state and bump them up a little bit, claim a missing state, or just let me know where you live. You're from Finland. I do. I have the world. Where are you? You guys are on the back. I didn't forget you. I do need a world map, but I haven't found one that's small enough for me to actually, put up on the wall. So we have Terry from Texas, because I don't have to write. That puts Texas at 7. And then we have Luann is from Finland, and you are the first person to claim Finland. Now, in other countries, we have 1 in Italy, 2 in New South Wales, Australia. I don't know if there's different with Australia or just Australia, but that's 2 people have claimed NSW, and 2 in Ontario, Canada. Ooh, 1987, that's when I graduated. Oh, wait, we have a Kansas. Woohoo, let me just go one by one and we'll claim. Hey, I have one for Kansas. Why didn't I put it on? Okay, we now have 2 for Kansas. I need to put that on. Texas, we did. We've got a Peoria. That's down the road from me, not very far. We go to Peoria all the time. We got the Kansas. You know what? I'm going to claim you anyway. Rita, I think you lived there long enough, right? We should claim you for our North Dakota. Put one there. I'll mark that so I can do it. Jody made it. Jody, I think you're already on here, sweetie. Stephanie is from England. I know we have England people, but nobody... Is it okay to say England people? Okay, blanket apology for anything that comes out of my mouth inappropriately. I'm still living in the 80s where we can say England people, which is not right, it's English people anyway. But I know we have several people from England. Morning, Jackie. Oh, look, an ad. Yep, lived at 29. I think 25 years is when they say a car becomes an antique or other things become like antiques or something. At least the way it used to be, you could get an antique license plate for your car at 25 years. So since this is my project, I'm going to do anything I want. Actually, I should be able to claim Connecticut because I lived there for 13 years, but I associate as a Floridian. I identify as a Floridian. I lived there for over 40 years, so I think it's more Florida than Connecticut. Do you get bonus points for only living in a 10-mile radius your entire life? Yes, you get bonus points. Cape Coral, Florida, where I'm from, is larger than a 10-mile radius. Hi, Janie. Let me make sure I said hi to everyone. I'm just going to start all over. Hi, Linda. Hi, Candy. Hi, Terry. Hi, Luann. Hi, Terry. Hi, Linda. Hi, Rosie. Hi, Rita. Hi, Jody. Hi, Stephanie. Hi, Jackie. Hi, Rita. Hi, Ellen. Hi, Jody. Hi, Janie. There. I did it. That's all you're getting from me today. I'll say hi as you come through. Oh, and hi to everyone else that's watching on the replay and watching, and you're doing your thing right now, and you don't want to talk to us. And that's fine. We don't mind. So I'm going to put this. I think I need to get new stickies for it now. It's come down off the wall a couple times too. I need to iron things on anyway. This is canvas, so I just put it up here on the door and I hit it really quick with the iron because they all have the fuse. Oh, wait. We can do it while we're talking, Robin. See, I told you it takes me a little bit to wake up. Give me a second and let me find my states. I have an ironing board and everything. Ooh, I've got to reach in front of you, and I don't like doing that. It feels very... All right. Organized. We'll get there. Plastic away from the hot iron. Ironing board can stay here. Fabrics can stay there. Put you guys up there. Put you here. Plastic. Okay. Oh, Terry, YouTube does that every now and then. Their usual excuse is if you haven't watched my videos and clicked on my channel for a while, they feel like you're uninterested in what I'm offering you, and they unsubscribe you so that your feed isn't cluttered. But I've had people who watch every single video still get unsubscribed. So it's always important to check to make sure you're still subscribed. I appreciate it if you hit the thumbs up. And at any time on any video, if you can just put anything down for a comment, even a hi, that's smiley face, flamingo, whatever you want, it helps with the interactions with the channel and I appreciate it. Okay, let's find out. We need... See, I was smart and I made all of my states ahead of time, although it looks like I still have to cut them out. So we need Kansas and North Dakota. I feel like we have someone from West Virginia. Oh, look, West Virginia. Nebraska, we didn't say that, right? No. South Dakota. South Dakota is a really pretty green. North Dakota has got this purpley color. And Kansas. Little, 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 little. I would have thought we had Arkansas. Kansas. And New Mexico. I feel like we have New Mexico too. I just haven't talked about this in so long. I think people just haven't done it. Jody's ironing ironing shirts and then finishing the bias on your donation quilt. You're in the home stretch. So many of you guys have told me you're at the binding part of your project, and you're so excited. I'm very excited for you because that means you're almost done. All right, let's do North Dakota because I put the names on because while I know some shapes, a lot of them are so similar that... And I also had to make most of these over again because I forgot to mirror them. Oops. It happens, right? Did I fix everybody? Oh, yeah. North Dakota looks good. Oh, it looks nice, good colors there. Oh, hello. I turned the iron off because this one makes these gurgling, hissy sounds when it's not being used. Oh, we have a Belgium down. We don't have a Belgium for Kathy. Hi, Kathy. I never want to forget our international people. I have a map of the U.S. for all of the places I've mailed things for my Etsy shop. And I have the U.S. all colored in, except for, what am I missing? Alaska and Hawaii, and I think a little state. Nope, I got all the little ones. But around the outside of it, I just wrote all the international places that I've sent mail to. It's a fun little thing to do. I saw another Etsy seller doing it, and I thought, hey, that's kind of cool. And this map was sent to me by Missouri Star when they were letting us, we were choosing what could be sent to us, but they wanted to talk about this one because one of the girls was doing a road trip. And y'all know I'm terrible with names. I did go through and I signed up for a few things for this summer with Missouri Star. I don't know what I will be chosen for, but I generally choose, I just say, hey, you know, whatever you need help in, I'll do it. But they have a couple of things where they need you to do like really nice reels for Instagram, and I'm not good at doing really nice reels for Instagram. So I said, hey, I'll do everything else, but if you need help with that, I'll do it. I'm just not guaranteeing anything good. One, I talk too much, and two, I haven't made enough to be in good practice. The Nevada hellhole, huh? Your heart is in Newport, Rhode Island. You've never been a morning person either. I've always been Kansas. I've always been a morning person. I still get up because I have my alarm set at 6:30. I've actually bumped it up to 6:45 just for fun. But I don't come to work until like 11:30. I usually do better after lunchtime. And it's just like whatever. I just had to get used to it, and it is what it is now, right? This tacky stuff is really great. It's this Gorilla tacky stuff, but it sticks to the canvas. I have it on the back of my quilts, no problem, but the canvas is a rougher material. I do plan on turning this into a quilted wall hanging, so at some point it'll be stuck to the batting and it won't really matter. But it doesn't damage the walls here, and it's a rental. All right, let me double check. Okay, so Mary, where's my stuff again? Where did I put you? Never know what you're gonna do here today with us, huh? And I put away the pen because that's how I rock. I was trying to be neat, you know, I put away stuff. Hey, I have, oh, not Nevada, it's New Mexico. I knew we had a Nevada. So we'll put down another Nevada, but we do New Mexico. Jenny, I don't know what she's going to do when she comes back, but I do know, I think her birthday's in June, so they're going to be doing a big birthday bash for Jenny in June. I don't know how much we're supposed to, you know, tell in advance. They didn't say don't tell anyone, but they didn't say you can share it. Normally I share things with you, and then 2 days later I get an email and they ask us not to share things. So I'm not going to share everything, but they do have a surprise for Jenny for her birthday. But I don't know, when's her 2 years up, isn't it? Is it at the end of this year or next year? Has it been 2 years already? Didn't they leave Halloween? I think they did, the kids had to do Thanksgiving and Christmas without, you know, mom and dad last year. But has it been 2 years now? I don't know. I think Jenny will always be there to some point, but I think this was a good test to see if the kids can run the company or the family can run the company without mom and dad and see what happens. I don't think Jenny will completely stop. I think she'll always be there at some, you know, to some aspect, but I don't know if she's going to come back full time. She probably wants to just take it easy. Hi, Helen. Don't forget to stay hydrated. I also cleaned my sewing machine today before I started, and I changed my needle because I've been sewing a lot of pouches, so I changed my needle on Sunday. So if you sew 4, 5, 6 hours every day, you should probably clean your machine every day or at least every other. And stay hydrated, especially in the summertime. Maybe you have to hydrate more in the winter because we forget. I don't know. But I think it's really fun and colorful. I'm really thinking I'm going to take black thread and just do a little zigzag. I do not want to hand stitch all of this, especially through the heat and bond. So I think I'm just going to do, either I will outline the inside of every state to hold the applique down, or I'll do a little zigzag and cover both states at the same time. There's no thread. I mean, I could go around like this, but there's no like path that you can take to do one all the way around. Hi, Janice. Thank you so much. Like I said, I have all of the fabrics already pre-done. This is the only one that's really fun. Isn't that Iowa? Iowa, Indiana, Illinois, and all of that? Yeah, I think that's pretty much Iowa. I only had that one that really worked out to be fun and cute. I wanted to put a lot of the batiks in because they're fun. And it fits nicely on one door because I have those double doors to my room, so it fits nicely across the one door. And the other door, I put the little things up that you guys have sent me. Sorry, let's put this over here. Hopefully the iron won't be like right in your view. I keep my chair up a little high now, so I have to like hop up into it. But I like being able to sew at a higher height now than I did with my last chair. Okay. Justin's cooking in the kitchen, so I hear him making a lot of noise. I think he's just putting ice in a water bottle. It's so loud when you do that. Iowa, perfect, thank you. I counted, I just cut a bunch of little squares or whatnots for the beginning. I didn't even worry if it was 2.5 inches or anything. So I had 47 out of 90. Excuse me for a second. Sorry. It seems to be very spring allergy today here. I have 15 blocks that I'm doing. I should have paid attention and did like 13 so that I can stay at a even type of number, but that's okay. I still have a ton of fabrics that are cut. So I still have all of these plus what you see up there. So I'm in really good shape. I don't think I'll need to cut any more to finish the quilt. I started without you guys because you've seen me sew the beginning, and I added the video tutorial link in the description box for anyone that's new. I'm trying to do things different each live stream. Not that it's because it's an improv log cabin, so it's not like it's a big deal. But I'm trying to use different size, rectangles instead of squares one month, and then smaller ones because I have like these. This was the beginning one, I think, right here. So that's not even. It's about 1.5 inches by 2, maybe. So I just plopped my ruler down and cut the pieces. And now I'm trying to just be careful of what I choose. I have learned that each month I try to be different. And then when I put all the blocks down and I look at them, like there'll be 20 blocks where the third color is all yellow on all of them or something crazy like that. So I think we have like certain habits that we do and we don't really pay attention. It's a subconscious thing. Where I think, oh, I haven't used much yellow, so let me put more yellow in it, only to find out that every block has yellow or something. But with 90 blocks and everything being so scrappy, I don't think it's going to matter that much. What I wanted to ask, though, is next live stream is going to be on the 17th. My calendar says that's Armed Forces Day. So we'll thank everyone that has served. I want green. No, there's green there. I want purple. But I was wondering, what should we work on the next live stream? Do you guys want to start? I put it down, I think, for June or August or something to start working on the scrappy broken courthouse steps or the potato chip blocks, aka potato chip block. Because you guys wanted to sew some of those. Should we start that sooner or should we find some random project to work on? I need to make more scrappy bits for my scrappy note cards. I think I only have 3 left. So we could work on those. I'm up for almost anything. Don't cut through the cord of your iron. Don't cut through the cord of the microphone. So I'm putting more than 1 block in the beginning here, like when I do my crumb blocks and stuff. I just let them hang all on there like banners or flags. And as I get going, I will, do less as we get moving through the block. But it's just a quick, easy way to get them going. Oh, there it is. To get them going. Oh, thank you, Mary. Exactly. I mean, some people say patriotic mug rugs. We can do mug rugs. We do have the 4th. Now, Missouri Star does have a patriotic template set coming out. And they also have, I think, a patriotic or 4th of July layer cake. I think that's safe to mention those because I've seen them online. So they have those coming out for their May, June, and possibly July stuff that's going on. I think they're giving a big heads up for everything so we can plan our summers around it. Hi, Loretta. I know, when I say I talk too much, yes, I talk a lot. I love to talk and chat crafty stuff, But with the reels, you only have 3 minutes to do the reel. So I need to learn to say, what I want to do is I want to take stuff from YouTube and put it on Instagram. And I need to learn how to be, here, look, do that, boom, done. You know, me, I'm like, hey, you know, if you go ahead and cut this and you can trim it a little larger and then we can trim it down, it's better if you press it first, then trim it. So in case there's any wonky bits, I can't give the tips and tricks that I like to give in an Instagram reel. So I'm trying to coordinate Instagram with YouTube where I can talk all I want to a certain extent. Where are my notepads? Where are my sticky notes? Sticky note, sticky note. If I was a sticky note, where would I be? Okay, Jody, did you take my Post-its? They're hiding. Oh, found them. Got some. You know, 3 seconds from now, I won't know my own name. So, patriotic, crappy writing. Mug rugs. Patriotic. Okay. I've been sewing too often, too late at night because I have the neck issue. So when I work too much like that, my neck gets a little crazy and it messes with my brain and the ability to use my hands. So like today, I will do my best not to touch anything breakable, because if I'm already throwing pens and pads and stuff, I know that, like, I can't feel, my hands are numb right now. Numb is fine. Numb is much better than pins and needles. So I'll go with it. I know none of it's good, but pins and needles is annoying. Numb, I can see my hands. I know what they're doing. I just don't hold any babies, right? I don't want to hold any babies. I might drop them. So I'm just more careful. So now I've gotten a lot. I can see my Whip It Wednesday stash because I put it in that one basket. And I have finished. I get to the point where if I work on so many projects a little at a time, at some point they get to the point where they're just all finished. Wow, there's a long delay on these. So I finished my UFOs from Friday's video. I finished my scissor pouches, my pencil pouches, and my little wallet keychains. All of those are finished. I have a bunch of key fobs that'll be finished soon. So I'm getting down to the point now that I can start working on the boxy bags. And there was something, oh, the eyeglass cases. I want to do some eyeglass cases, so I have to work on those. Lots of yellow. I don't have much yellow. My crafty godmother, I almost called her scrappy godmother, but that works too. My crafty godmother sent me, I'd say 90% of these fabrics. Some of them I went through last month and cut more from my stash, like this is from my stash and this and stuff. But neither one of us had that much yellow in with these projects, so I have to add more yellow to it. There's not going to be a ton. The cold coffee holders, I've been seeing those, but I've been seeing that they're ordering from someone, because I watch a lot of, it's craft fair season, so I watch a lot of it always feels like I'm like, oh, the young kids, right? Like the young hip people. But the 20-somethings are doing a lot of craft fairs right now in their small businesses that they're running. And some of them are doing really good. But they do the coffee holders, and they're those polypropylene, whatever, those sleeves, but they buy them, they design the design, or they go to a manufacturer and choose designs from the manufacturer. So they're not actually making them themselves. I know I made can koozies, so you could put your soda can in it. I have a video for those. And I did like the coffee cup sleeves and the water bottle sleeves, and I did the mason jar sleeves. my quilted versions weren't popular at the time to sell online. Oh yeah, when you do the, excuse me, when you do the mug rugs, this is how we're going to make it, but you can make it using any, fabrics or designs you want. I like to do the mug rugs that have a, ad. Are we back? Okay. I like to do the mug rugs that have a 6.5-inch quilt block and then a piece of fabric to coordinate, so you can put your coffee cup on like the piece of fabric and look at the pretty thing or whatever like that. I mean, they're meant to be used so you can wash them and everything. But I like to do those versions. I don't have very many mug rugs in the shop because I usually just make them one at a time, so they're sort of unique. Even if I'm using someone else's pattern, like in Patreon. Patreon, we generally sew a lot from things we find online because it's a very small private group, and I don't know. Did I stretch some of the rules? Probably. Did I break any? I don't think so. But at least it's, it's not out to thousands of people. I don't share patterns, they're free patterns and stuff. It's one of those controversies. But anyway, I only make one or two. I like to make one for the shop, and then I make a practice one, and then I make it in the video, and I should stop doing that. And sometimes I keep one, and then I make one for the shop. But mug rugs, they're quick, but they don't take a lot of time. Depending on what the design is, whether or not they'll sell quickly. Those in the know told me cherries are very popular. Make it real short, Jody. Yeah. Thanks, Jody. Appreciate it. Whoops. Rotary cutters don't work that way. Hey, anyone who has these rotary cutters, just a little tip for you. I noticed it with the large 60-inch one. Make sure every now and then, before a long cutting session, you just make sure they're tight. Either I didn't tighten my 60 millimeter all the way, or it came loose on its own. I don't use it too often, but even with just cutting one piece of fabric, I feel like having the big cutter is kind of overkill, but it's really nice to use it. Those ball bearings in there, it really honestly makes a difference. Not to push, Missouri Star or anything, but just after having used these, when I go back and I use my old ones, they're not as pleasant to use. I feel more fatigued, having to push even with a brand new blade. This one just glides. So if you're having a little bit of trouble. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking, Jody, to send them to like my link tree. There's some things that you can use to take your YouTube videos and pull some shorts out of it or reels out of it. So I just need to see which ones are full on legitimate, because I don't like to do anything with my YouTube channel that could cause, anyone to hack into it. You have to be really careful what you use. So I think I feel more confident and comfortable doing it myself. So just pull out small bits of the videos and just make the little bits. Like when I showed how to make that little triangle Christmas tree out of, fabric and stuff with the blocks, that's a really popular thing over on my Instagram. I have it linked, but I don't have an actual video of me making one. I don't have a video of me making like zipper pouches and stuff, I don't think, over there. So I just need to do like they do here on YouTube, the channels that don't speak, and they just, here's the facts, ma'am, just the facts. And then if you want the more, like I've been doing with my zipper pouches, hey, here's a zipper pouch. If you need me to hold your hand more, go check out this video and that video. And, it'll have more details, because not everyone needs all the details anyways. Some people just want, I get it and I don't get it. here's a zipper pouch. It's 7 by 9. And I get a lot of messages. What size would I cut my fabric if I want it to be 8 by 10? And I kind of get it, but I don't get it at the same time. If you wanted a different size, it's the same technique, just cut it a different size. But at the same time, if you're a beginner, I have to remember to step back and say, hey, Robin, you were there too at one point where you couldn't figure out what size. I've bought patterns just to get the measurements. I know the technique, I just need the measurements. So it's the thing, you know, that conversation you have in your head. Which is why I probably have 45 tutorials on how to make a zipper pouch on my channel. I have something fun. I'm going to do some paper piecing coming up soon. Because there's a pattern that they've been showing. It's in a quilting magazine. If anyone has seen the tote bag made from the, is it echinacea flower? It's one of those cone flowers that have the skinny petals that come down. Let me see if I can find one on Instagram. I have the pattern. I got the pattern yesterday. And I've been wanting to make it. And the only way you can make it is with a paper piecing pattern. And I really, really, really want to make these because they're so pretty. Check this out. Stop talking. Isn't that just so pretty and gorgeous and springy and summer? And you can have them in all different colors on the background and the flower. This is from a quilting magazine. It is... Oh, look, I commented on it. This is from a week ago. Dun, 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 dun. If you look for them on Instagram, it's like Love and Quilting magazine, for the love of quilting. And it's like episode. It's issue 136, I believe. So that is on my list. Once I get these done, I want to make those tote bags. It's so pretty. Oh, right, when they use them, yeah. I feel like they will use a mug rug before they'll use a quilt. So I try not to give anyone like a beautiful quilt. I think scrappy quilts are great because they're beautiful in their own way. Hold on, I'm tangled up in my cords. But people will use them more than if you made this really like a wedding ring quilt or something like that. People don't seem to want to use those. It's like they're afraid they're going to ruin it or something. Okay, let's do, we'll do that purple. And I think these are still sorted by size a little bit. Just try to bring out some stuff. I think that's the one. I'm not sure if I put that in there anywhere because it's a little dark. Here's some little bits. Probably should use those up. And here's some lighter pink that I'm not a huge fan of either. You know, this quilt's going to be for me, so I can be a little picky and choosy. There's one of my favorite purples. I don't make too many things for me. I tend to just get the oopsies. But I need some more, excuse me for a second. I need some more project bags, excuse me. Asthma today. I need some more like tote bags and project bags for knitting and crochet. I found some more out in the garage when I was going through stuff, but let's do this. I love coneflower. They're really pretty. I feel like they're in those wildflower seed packets a lot. I love the zinnias. I love the coneflowers. And I love any flower that has a whole bunch of the little, they almost look like, clovers, a whole bunch of little clover flowers in the clumps. There's several different flowers. Now see, I have this whole piece and I don't want to do all 15 blocks on this because that might really stand out. I think I'll do like three block. And of course, the bigger your block gets, the more prominent the color of fabric you choose will be. So now I've gotten to the point where I have one seam, and two seams. So now I don't have to think anymore. I know exactly where it's going to go. And I'm going for 9.5-inch blocks, if you recall. I don't know if we'll ever make it to that size today. So I look here and I decide if I want this color to be next to there. Now you can be really fancy and take a picture, or at least just bring it up on your phone and do black and white. And if the colors on a grayscale just disappear, no, I have to take a picture to do it. So I take my picture and then I bring the picture up to edit it. And then somewhere I should be able to haven't done it in forever. Put in a filter, noir. So all of my colors, they're very similar. I can see by the design, but this one looks a lot like that one, even though they're two different colors, but they have that same tone to it, that this one at least has a light and a dark. But those two look identical, which is crazy because if you put these in, you'd be like, hey, they're two different colors, but overall they will tend to blend together and be a little muddy. So you can use that to figure it out. Gisela, I'm so sorry you've been hurting a lot. It makes it difficult to, you know, to kind of hang out with everyone and do different things like that. I totally understand. I'm glad you're able to hang out with us for a little bit today. So now I know if it has that blue in it, I'm not going to use it with this fabric. But I'm not going to check all of them because overall it's going to be fine. Oh, my daughter broke her hand because she got mad at work and punched the metal walk-in freezer door, and she got a boxer fracture here. It was just almost going to need surgery for it, but she got lucky. And yeah, it aches. Once you break a bone, it hurts while it's broken and healing, and then it just hurts for a while afterwards. I broke my ankle in 4 places in 7th grade. So 15, 14, about when I was 12 or 13 years old, and it still gives me trouble. Oh, I'm glad that you still hang out with us and watch, though. The petals dried in a spiral. That's very cool, Ellen. I haven't done flowers yet. My daughter wants me to have my flowers and stuff, but I really don't want to go to the effort here at a rental because I want to do raised flower beds. The ground is too hard and too dry. I actually would just like to spread flower seeds all over the front yard, but it would make it difficult to mow then. I'm like, take that, HOA. We've always known HOAs are a little difficult. They have their place. They're important to a certain extent, but we've always known that we weren't going to be big fans of them, but we've never been like rowdy. We've never been that house. But apparently we're that house because Florida people are like, don't move to Florida, we have enough. And they're like, whatever. But Arizona's like, don't move to Arizona. We don't want you here, especially if you live in California. So they're really crazy, and I think we got in a lot of trouble just because we have Florida tags. I have this really beautiful green grass now that I'm allergic to, so my daughter mows it now. But right across the street, they've got dead brown grass and patches of dirt, and I don't care. In Florida, you get dead grass in the winter because there's no rain. Here, it's year-round, but they complain about us and not across the street, and I just want it to be fair. That's all. I don't mind getting in trouble. If I've done something wrong, I've done something wrong. But can you please yell at everyone equally? That's all I want. And don't yell at me for something that I know is legal, like parking on the street is legal. It's not legal in Cape Coral, Florida, though, but here it's legal, and we got in trouble for it. So I don't know. It's all HOAs here. It's fine. It's just something new to get used to is all it is. Your daughter got a boxer's fracture from expanding airbag. Oh, in high school, yeah. Yeah, she's 30. Oh, yeah, Mary, that's... the airbags save your life, but they're very dangerous. People don't have an airbag come out in an accident and generally not get some type of injury, even if it's just really bad abrasions and stuff. My daughter is 34 this month. Her birthday's on the 21st. So she just has a few weeks before her birthday. I think she's going to be, okay, 91. Yeah, 34. So she did it when she was, I don't know, early 20s. And I could tell when like the weather changes and stuff. She's like, yeah, my hand hurts. I'm like, yeah, well, because you were dumb. So that's your punishment for having an attitude problem. I still feel bad for her, of course, but I'm like, yeah, that's your consequences. I tell them all the time, you break a bone and that's the spot that's going to get arthritis. Because even though the bone heals, it heals with like extra growth and stuff on it, so it gets sore. Although we don't have to worry about like grumpy, oh, I'm pretty sure I sewed something on wrong because I always do, you guys know that. It doesn't matter with this type of project. We don't have a lot of rain here, so we don't have to worry about achy, rainy day, damp days or anything. It is nothing like where Jody lives, where it rains all the time. Right? We do not feel wanted because, you know, we're the Florida people. At least I feel like Florida, we're a little bit better because we drove all the way across the country compared to California. So apparently California has a lot of political this, that, and the next thing that I don't pay attention to. California is pretty far from Florida, so I didn't really pay a lot of attention to what's going on over there. But I know it's expensive to live in most of the places in California. So the people in Arizona, I mean, I'm talking, I go to the DMV and they talk to me and they're like, oh, where are you from? And I'm like, Florida. Like, okay, as long as you're not from California, it's okay. And I'm like, oh, okay, thank you. And they tell me that people in California have ruined their state and made the prices so expensive to live there that they come to Arizona because the cost of living is cheaper here. Trust me, the cost of living's not cheap, just cheaper than California apparently. But then they come here and they want to change it so it's just like California. And then I don't think it's Arizonians. They get very upset. I don't know. I can't keep up with everything. Oh, you were born in 1990, so 34. Thank you. Oh, yeah. See, pre-cuts. I've had 3 surgeries on my right shoulder and 1 on my left. I couldn't use the rotary cutter for the longest time. The shoulder is finally better now because the neck is taken over the issues. So I do have to be careful. Even ironing is hard on the fingertips to the shoulder and the neck. So whatever injury you have in between, it can be very difficult. I purchased the Go Cutter for when my shoulder was out of commission. And I found that helped a lot, but at the same time, that's not how I craft anymore. So I have the Go Cutter and a bunch of dies out in the garage. So there's that. Let's find another fabric that we want to use. I look at them and I say, okay, do I have a lot of one color? Okay, there's a lot of reds and pinks, so I don't want to use that. So I have my green here, so I'll do a little green. This green is similar to that, so I'll try to avoid those. Oh, Ellen, you need rain? Yeah, we're in the desert, so from what I understood, I follow some park rangers on Instagram, and they say that the seeds germinate in the autumn here. So if we don't have rain in October, then we won't have wildflowers in April in the desert. So we didn't get rain. It's been a very dry year. You think Florida, we would have brought the rain with us, but we didn't. It's been a very, almost touched the iron, very dry year here. And there's like no wildflowers, but the cactus and other things that are real desert, they're blooming like crazy and everything's starting to look really pretty here again. But we'll huff and puff for Ellen and blow the rain her way. Ellen, I'm surprised you didn't get rain. They had all those nasty storms from like Iowa down to Missouri and stuff. I'm surprised that didn't blow over for you. Oh, it's really great for Scrappy. I have the original one, or like they had the Go Cutter for a couple years, then they came out with one, and then they started doing all the fancy stuff. So they were putting all the different sizes on one die. But I think the ones that they have now, where you can cut a whole bunch of half square triangles out of that little baby Go and stuff, I think that's a great way to go for using up scraps and making things like that. Hi, Kathy. You sold yours? Yeah. It's not, I'm saving mine. I don't want to just sell it. If someone who comes nearby, someone makes it to this area, you know, I have someone in mind for it, but it's too heavy to mail out and it's too bulky. It would probably be cheaper just to buy someone a Go Cutter than to mail them my used one. The rag dye is really great to do rag quilts, but it's a pain in the butt to get all the threads out. The big one that's not the Go, it's the, whatever the big size one is for, it was meant in the beginning, excuse me, it was meant in the beginning for the professionals. I hope that's covering up most of that sound and I'm not coughing in your ear. I can't turn my volume on and off like the fancy YouTubers can. It's not the executive, whatever it is, but they have some really nice dyes. And then there's this gentleman that works like as a sponsorship, I think, with the AccuQuilt on Instagram, and he does a lot of quilts with them, and he's had he designed a bow tie for the AccuQuilt, the Go Cutter and stuff. I think that's really kind of cool. Studio, exactly. Yeah, I know. I'm not in Florida. I can't send anything. Mine's the old-fashioned hand crank. They didn't have electric back then. See, I know. If I just talk, you guys know who I'm talking about. I'm terrible with names. You don't know how many times I've started a Whip It Wednesday and I said, hey, everyone, it's, oh, damn, I forgot my name. Or it's Robin from, oh, where do I work? I'm just terrible with it. The Go Cutter, if you're a standard block quilter, I think the Go Cutter is a great tool. You can cut out like 2.5 and different size squares to make 9 patches. If you make stars, you can do all the half square triangles. They have specific quilts for specific blocks and stuff, so you can layer it on. I know in the beginning people always complained about waste, but there's if you lay it on there, and they've gotten better with their dyes, because I have them when they're straight on and one color, and you had to take a silver Sharpie and draw around the cutting area. Now they're two-toned and they have them on an angle and stuff. It's depending on what you make, whether or not it's going to work for you, you know. If you're just all around, you kind of make whatever you're in the mood for and whatever, you know, floats your boat and catches your eye at the time, then I don't know how much it'll work for you. I don't make a lot of, as she's sewing a quilt, I don't make a lot of quilts on a daily basis and stuff. And I do a lot of weird scrappy stuff. It's great, I think, if you want to go through and take all of your scraps and cut them down into usable sizes. Like, I want to make a whole bunch of 2.5-inch blocks. It's quick. But I have the Stripology ruler. They have them in all different sizes. I can take the smaller Stripology ruler and I can put my little scraps in it. I go and I'm done. But if you don't have use very well of your arm, if you have wrist problems and shoulder and elbow problems, I think it's helpful. But it's a tool. And just like with everything else, not everyone needs or wants that tool. I started out with bone spurs, and they were trying, excuse me, one second. I got a tickle. They were trying to be conservative with the surgeries, and they went through and they removed the bone spurs. But I had to have, they missed a couple things. I picked a really good doctor, but I didn't pick the best doctor the first time around. So for the third surgery on my right shoulder and the first one on my left, he went and he actually like shaved off bone on my shoulder. I'm predisposed to bone spurs. I've had them in my feet and I've had them in my shoulders and I have them in my neck right now. And they just grow like crazy. And I also injured, the way I injured my neck, it was at work at the hospital. They have these really large plastic bins that they keep dirty laundry in, trash, and they keep like blankets and the gowns and everything on. And I was walking with, I was pulling it behind me, and it must have, I'd say it probably weighed about 400 or 500 pounds at that point because it was full. It hit a corner. There was a, I was going into endoscopy and I was coming this way and the cart hit the corner and the cart pulled my arm one way while my body was still going the other way. And that's how I ended up tearing a bunch of nerves. I messed up the nerves in my shoulder, and I'd also have like different issues, fancy words with problems in my neck. But basically it was because I chose the wrong doctor the first time. And he said he didn't want to go to the extreme because blah, blah, blah caused this, blah, blah, blah. And the other doctor is like, hey, I'd rather go in once, take care of it so you don't have to come back. He was right. He fixed it. I have the big, long 2.5-inch strip die. You have so many add-ons for the Husqvarna Viking machines. Yeah, I have the fancy Juki here, and while I use everything on it, I don't use it frequently, but I'm happy to have it when it's there. I used the Go Cutter quite a bit early on just to work on my scraps, but then I realized I make things up as I go, and I'm not that... I need to get a lozenge. One second, guys. I'm not that type of a quilter, so it didn't actually work for me. I keep these on hand for when I have a tickle in my throat. I love anything berry. And this is, it tastes medicinal, but it doesn't taste like medicine-y. It's not like a candy. But the Ricola is really good. I paid a little bit extra for this, for the big name brand, but it's very soothing when I have like postnasal drip from allergies and stuff. Just as a little recommendation for me, take it or leave it. My apologies now if I have a hard candy in my mouth, basically. You're really low tech. Yeah, I don't need a lot. But I have learned that I was doing without a lot of things early on. But then when I did get the fancy things, I'm like, you know what? It's not that I have to have this tool, but this tool sure does make my life easier. That's the difference, I think. I think we get stuck on the, you know, do we have to have this? No, we don't have to have this. We can do a lot of things without. We used to do Ludens. I grew up on Ludens Wild Cherry. That's everything is like, that's definitely tastes like cough medicine. I'm like, yes, that's a definite medicinal taste. This is the wild berry with a hint of cough drop underneath. My daughter and I think my oldest, they like the honey versions. Honey is, you know, really nice on the throat and everything, but I wanted something, oh, an ad. I wanted something different. So sorry about the ads. I tried to keep them so they're spaced out, but YouTube does what YouTube wants to do. I'm trying to decide if I want to put any of these on here. This one can go, I guess. My grandfather always had a little box of the Ludens Wild Cherry cough drops in his pocket. I'm now that I'm an adult and understand more, I think as a lifelong unfiltered Lucky Strike cigarette smoker that he had some little issues and tickles in his throat that he needed to have the cough drops for. It is. It's just I would never have said anything. I would never have thought about it. And even without, if Missouri Star said, Robin, we never want to talk to you again, go away. I'm pretty nice. I don't think they would say that to me, but I would still tell you, hey, I don't like Missouri Star, but I suggest you purchase this because it's a really good thing. It took me a little bit, as I've mentioned, to get used to. It kind of made me move my hand a little differently. So once I got control of myself and started figuring out how to hold it for it to work for me, I think these are great. And that 60 millimeter I use when I'm stacking a bunch for linings for bags and stuff. Now I can stack it, 10 and 12 high, and I can just cut right through it beautifully. It is nice. I say, a lot of times I'm like, just get a rotary cutter. It's all about the blade. But I think I'm wrong. I think this with the ball bearing. Now, I don't know if anyone else has it. I would think, do you think Missouri Star is the first person to come up with the idea of putting ball bearings in there? I don't know. But whoever came up with it, I would suggest, looking for those and getting one. If you don't like Missouri Star, see if anyone else has it. I imagine someone else does. My cats freak out when I sneeze. They go real crazy when I sneeze. Yeah, with the shoulder thing, that I think I blacked out for a second or two. I know I dropped right to my knees. I had just had one shoulder surgery. I recuperated, got back to work, and I got injured all over again. And the hospital that I worked at, they had special deals with the governor. So anyone who got injured, you couldn't take them to court. There was no way you could win. They tried to get a whole bunch of attorneys all over the state to coordinate on my case, to do different things with, they would like change our clock in and out date. And they had the thing where it didn't matter if they killed you in the hospital during surgery, you had to sign things that you couldn't sue for more than $100,000. So anyone that got hurt with workers' comp got $5,000 and that's it. They could never do anything because the hospital had a special deal with the governor, and the governor wrote certain things to allow them to get away with things. It was crazy. I don't know how it works now because now they're a private hospital. I don't know if anything has changed, but yeah, it was crazy. I enjoyed working there. I enjoyed the different medical departments because I worked up in day surgery. and endoscopy and stuff. And they were really nice, the nurses and doctors and stuff, because I did not to toot my horn, but I did a pretty damn good job. And my supervisor would tell them, no, we don't do that. And they would ask me, and I'm like, yeah, I can do that for you. I don't mind. I can help out. Oh, thank you. I use some of your scraps, your quilts. Now, I keep looking for quilts at the thrift store and stuff to have a little bit of fun and use them as cutter quilts like all the different places do. I don't want to make a quilt and cut it apart, and I don't have any quilts that I'd be willing to cut apart, but I wouldn't mind rescuing one from the thrift store and cutting it apart. But I love to just use scraps like this. If they're all colors that you like. Now these, I feel like they're mostly bright, and even though this is like a dark blue with the light in there, it feels bright and colorful to me. And that's my favorite, bright and colorful. I used to do a lot of black, and I'm really kind of being drawn back into the blacks and grays, but I still want all the colors. Oh, is Gisela leaving us? Night. Thanks for stopping by and hanging out with us for a bit. Hopefully you can join us again sometime. You used to be able to go to the quilt shops and rent the Go Cutter, like rent time. Some stores were very nice and would let you take it home, and other stores you could rent it like a long arm in the store by the hour or something like that. And they had all of the different dyes you could use. So I think that would be really fun too. So you don't have like the big commitment of owning it. You can go and try it at a quilt shop, decide if it's worth the investment or not to you, and then go from there. So I don't know. They may still do things like that. I don't know. I know I saw someone several years ago now, maybe 5 or 6 years ago, where they had a quilt shop and you would drop off your fabric and then they would cut it for you. So like you couldn't rent their cutter or anything, but you could pay them to cut out your quilt for you. And now so many, hi Deborah, now so many people are doing like the electric scissors. I've been seeing a lot of people using them, even just when they're making like the makeup bags for craft fairs and stuff. One of the things that's on my list is I want to start making some of those unpaper towels, but I have to pull the flannel out of the garage storage and I have to wash it first. So I see a lot of people using the electric scissors, and I have that one pair from the company that sent it to me to test out. I like them. I think it'd be really good to cut out squares. I would just have to kind of learn how to cut on a straight line, make it so I can follow the lines on the cutting board with the scissors and stuff. Otherwise, nothing would be of equal size. Yeah, I only had one quilt store. I was really surprised. In the whole county, we only had one quilt store in Florida. There's several of them here out in Peoria and on the way in that direction. The kids and I still haven't gotten used to here because you'll be driving and the city's Maricopa County is big, but it's almost kind of shaped like Texas, if I remember correctly. It's kind of like weird shapes. But the counties in Florida, they're very rectangular. You have like counties like this here. You can have this skinny part with this pieces here, because I'm going to guess the mountains and stuff determine where the land is divided and everything. So we'll be driving, and we'll drive 3 miles, and we've gone through 3 different cities. So it's kind of just a little bit strange. We're not used to it. I was in, where did I go? Oh, I just went up the road to the Dollar Tree. I didn't realize it was in another city, and it's like 2 miles from my house, because we're pretty much on the outskirts of Surprise. So if we go in 2 different directions, we end up going through different towns real quickly. My daughter's going to Mesa today. I think she said there's an IKEA there. They're going to go to IKEA. Her and her friend are going to IKEA to find, I don't remember what she said. And they like to go to the thrift stores and antiquing. Not like old antiques, but they like to find different furniture and stuff like that. Her friend likes the antique-y type stuff. Works for me. So there's a lot of places you can go here. Tired of tripping over a box? Oh, Jackie's still packing. Oh, I would imagine the electric scissors are really good for cutting out clothing patterns, Ellen. Because that'd be... Yeah, Missouri Star does like to push their products. I like Fat Quarter Shop and I like Shabby Fabrics. Shabby, yeah. One of them is a Fat Quarter Shop that has all of those monthly mug rugs, monthly quilts, monthly table runners. They're very dangerous because I want all of them. I want to do all of them. I do really enjoy Fat Quarter Shop. It's another family-run thing. They're doing their own thing, and they're having fun doing it, and I think they're doing a really great job. They do have an affiliate program also. From what I understand, some people told me that Fat Quarter Shop is a bit... It's either the channel they watched was very pushy, on buy from them. I don't ever want to do that because, hey, we all have to watch what we're spending. We have to be careful. I say wherever you can find the best deal is where you can shop. If you can shop, if there's something at Missouri Star you want, I do appreciate when you use my link, but I would not be upset if you bought something somewhere else. Thank you, Gisela. I appreciate that. Mom had electric scissors, gave them to my daughter. I never liked them. I don't use them that often, but since a company gave them to me, then, I'm not going to get rid of them. Prepackers.com on Thursday. Final packing is June 9th. It's right around the corner. Right around the corner, Jackie, huh? Are you excited, or are you just still in the middle of moving and you just, I had enough? Because when you know in advance that you're going to move, you're at it for so long, you're just like, I just had enough. I don't want to do this anymore. When my blocks start to look a little off, I like to come and even trim. This one's wonky. Trim a little extra off, since I know it's not scraps, but it's not yardage. I try to square it up as I go a little bit after a certain size, like when it gets closer to like 6.5 inches. Oh, come on. Ultimately, there's a tool for everything, or someone should invent a tool for everything, but tools are meant to make things easier. They're not always... Okay, when we're talking like tools for the garage and stuff, those things are necessary. But quilting, you don't even have to have a sewing machine, to be completely honest. You can do things by hand. I want to do a simple project with you guys and stitch it by hand at some point. Just like maybe a small mug rug or something. Nothing too big because, we don't have all day. We want to actually finish a project. But I did one. I haven't finished it. It's going to end up in one of my UFO videos. That I did that hand stitching little mini quilt a few years ago. I had a lot of fun working on that, and I thought it was a really neat way to learn a modern version of sewing a quilt by hand. Uh-oh. 50 lashes with a wet noodle for Becky for being late. Actually, I wasn't expecting you. I thought you were doing your retreat thing or the quilt show or something today. I didn't think we'd see you. Jackie's had about enough, and she's excited. Glad to be out of the house and into the daughter's house for the 2-year anniversary. Yes. Yeah, it's nice. I could see it both ways. I enjoyed staying at the house where Rob and I had all the memories. But boy, I tell you, moving out of the state really changed it up too. So I could see where people want to stay in their house and not leave, and I can see why people would want to move away. They both have pros and cons, but sometimes you could just take your memories with you and not have the day-to-day, every second of every moment to have a memory. We lived in the last house for just about 20 years, a little under 20, a little over 20. But, so Robbie was 3 when we moved in there. So we moved around a lot before that, a lot of rentals. So I could see, you know, there was a lot of time to have those memories, but we didn't live there for like 45 years or anything like some married couples do. But I can see how it would be hard to be there. I think I want red now. Not pink. Red. If you want to work on a project like this and you don't have a bunch of strips already cut and you don't want to buy a jelly roll because jelly rolls are expensive, what you can do is you could just start like pulling out your yardage and just cutting a 2.5-inch strip off of it if you want them all to be even. If you want them to be a little bit different like mine, uneven, the Improv, what I do is sometimes I'll bring a bunch of yardage down when I restock these strips. Sorry, I still have that throat soother in my mouth. I'll go 2.5, 3, 3.25, 1 3/4, 2.25. Each one I would just cut a different width. I would decide that I want them to go from 1 3/4 to 3.25. So each fabric I would just work a 1/4 inch or 1/2 inch down the line. And then when I went and cut the next ones, I might work backwards or something just to keep my mind going and not to go loopy. But you can easily just cut them all at 2.5 inches. 1977, wow. Hi, Terry. Oh no, the seam ripper. Jack came for a visit, huh? There's a lot of shop hops right now going on, isn't it, Jody? I saw someone else did like all of Texas or something. That's what I love about the shop hops. I've never been to them because we only had one shop and you'd have to drive 6 hours to the next one. That was no way we're doing that in Florida. But you'd get like, I have a couple of you have sent me like the little license plates ones. When they did the license plates, you can make a license plate rectangle block and then turn it into a whole quilt. Some of you got those, you either purchased them or got them, and they were just like the pattern or it came with the fabric. Or like Jody said, you get a charm square or something with a saying on it, and then you have that memory all the way over. Gisella's actually leaving now. Night. Okay, I'm going to crunch my soother because I've had it too long. I'm trying to hold the microphone away from me. It's rude to chew on camera, right? I like it how they have that little bit of menthol in there so you can kind of feel it up in your sinuses too. Oh, that's kind of neat, Ellen. You're both in 1977. Instagram has gotten me on the algorithm of, we bought an old house and we found a secret room, or we found this stashed away. And I always thought it'd be really neat to, like when you remodel a house and you find people's signatures inside the wall, or they tuck pictures in and stuff like that. Rob and I had a house built. When we bought our first house, we had it built in Cape Coral, Florida. And we did that. We snuck inside and we wrote on the inside of the 2x4s, and we stuck little pictures and stuff and notes inside of it. So whenever someone goes and remodels it in the future, they'll see it. It wasn't an old house. We had that built in like 99. Robbie was born when we lived there. But I thought that was kind of neat. Some people, like when they're doing the kitchen cabinets and stuff, they'll put one of those plastic skeletons inside like one of those corner places where you can't see it, so that when they go back and someone remodels the kitchen in 20, 30, 40 years, they'll find a skeleton there and they'll freak out for a second before they realize it's plastic. I think that's kind of fun. I think it's nice that if you can leave a little bit of yourself in a house for the next people, like up in the attic or something. Even our house was from 1986, and the previous owners left some weird things up in the attic. Not like weird, strange, just like there was one of those lights over a pool table. We found a bathroom sink up there, one of the porcelain bathroom sinks. Totally crazy. I think it's still kind of fun at the same time, you know? I like a good mystery. Okay, red. Let's put some hearts. I also like when people do the YouTube videos and they go to estates and stuff, and they go through and show you the different things that the people owned that they're selling in the state. Like you'll see like a whole bunch of old Tupperware or butter dishes, but then you'll see some fun things too. Nowadays, I'm not sure, you know, what kind of fun things we might be able to share in the future. We don't have a lot of kitchen things, and everything are so new and modern. You're not going to go like, oh, was this a potato peeler or what? No, you're going to know, like, this is a pair of scissors. It's obvious. It's not like, is it an apple peeler? I don't know. I haven't been to too many of the thrift stores here, but I've been to the Goodwill a lot, and there's still some crazy things there. I'm like, I don't know what that is. My little my medium-sized milk can is getting quite full. I'm going to have to make some more somethings. Fabric postcards or mug rugs or something. Yeah, Jody, you're in a really old house. You did not move at all. Your husband hasn't gone very far from where he started to where he's ending right now. Don't have that many choices. This is the Santa Claus tote bag fabric. And that'll go there. So we have a lot of pink, a lot of green, red. So maybe we need some purple. I've been in the quirky kind of mood that every time I say a word, it leads to me to poorly sing a song. So like purple. So what song should we all sing? We can't sing songs on YouTube, but whatever. But my first thought would be like Purple Rain. And then I would sing that poorly. And then move on to the next thing. Oh. Or we can do the flowers. Look, Joann's. We're going to all be finding Joann's fabric in our stash for a long time. I was going to go to Joann's. I never made it to Joann's. I chose to go to Goodwill and Dollar Tree instead. I have another doctor's appointment. I found a primary care physician, so I'll be going up this month for that first visit that nobody likes to go to. So I think I'm going to try to get it into my brain that I'm going to go to Joann's. It's like I don't need anything, so I don't, like, I'm like, you don't need anything, Robin. Why would you go? But there's a couple things. I saw a video where Pellon, the P44F that I love, the really thin interfacing, it's made by Pellon, but it was sold specifically in Joann's stores. Now, I have seen it in other places online because people can buy it from Joann's and resell it. But the person was saying that they talked to Pellon, and it's not a product that they carry anywhere else, so it's just going to disappear. So there's another, thing that's going to happen because of Joann's, that it's a product that's exclusive to Joann's. Oh, I love Purple People Eater. That we're going to have to find a different product because they're not going to have that anymore. So I want to go see if they have any of it. They're now getting to the 40 or 50% off prices. So now it might be worth it to go and see if they have any and maybe buy a bolt or two. I don't know. Sometimes I just can't decide what I want to use. I have this dark green. This might be nice. Ooh, here's a really dark green. Can use that on some. Said I'm getting to the point where the colors are going to be larger, so we'll be able to see them. I think Ellen, that I saw them either you're 40 or 50% off. They haven't hit that good 70% off yet, and they said that all the stores are supposed to close at the end of May. So I don't know. Some stores I saw people going when I was watching the people who were making their handmade the reusable paper towels and the Swiffer dusters and the little duster that you put in here to dust the walls and stuff, that little handheld Swiffer versus the dust moppy thing. They were making those, and they went to Joann's, and in their area, it just looked like a regular Joann's. They had tons of fabric. It looked same old, same old. Since I look at a lot of stuff with Joann's that comes across my Instagram, because there's some Joann's employees that'll show different things, and I don't know. They're just now starting to get down in price. Because it's not Joann's anymore, it's the liquidators. April 28th, yeah. I saw that a lot of them. They said the ones that they were going to keep open, that, they were going to close down some and keep some open before they got bought out by the liquidators, that those are the Joann's that are staying open a little bit later, and all the original ones that were going to be shut down permanently are the ones that are already closing. Yeah, and some people were saying, Mary, that you had to buy, they weren't cutting fabric. You had to buy whatever was left on the bolt. I saw some stores had a 2-yard minimum, and other stores, it's you have to buy. They're not cutting it. Whatever's there, that's what you're buying. Which I don't mind. There are a few fabrics that I would like to have a bolt of, but honestly, I don't need. I need batting, but I don't buy that from Joann's anyways. And I would like to I have probably a half a bolt of the P44F, so I don't have to have that. I can find something else, but I know how that works and I like it. And I used to buy it for like 49 cents a yard, and I'd buy, 10 yards of it, 20 yards of it. So I would like to get a couple bolts of that. But if I don't, it's not going to hurt my business. You sang Purple Rain with me? Yep. I can hear his voice. I can see him on stage, and I can hear that kind of, the way his voice sounded and stuff. I can sing in my head, just when the words come out of my mouth, it's not good. They were sending, one store I saw had just all pink yarn. Every brand of yarn, it was just loaded with pink. And then they took more stuff from the warehouse. Let's say there's 250 stores staying open. Those 250 stores got restocked from the warehouses. All of them got warehouse, and then those got more on a second run. And they said they're still getting trucks every week from the warehouse. So I don't know if they're going to be able to sell out by then. They might just take whatever's left and sell it to another liquidator. I don't know. As I said, I don't have to have anything, but the ones I saw, the quilting sections, the scissors, the rotary cutters, the mats, all of that was gone. The notions and stuff, gone, gone, gone. Yep, love the Purple Rain. Purple Rain. Yeah. And I don't even care half the time if I get the words right. It's like, whatever. I'm happy. So the cats don't like when I sing. They put up with live stream Saturdays and videos, but they really prefer when I keep my mouth shut and just sew. At least thankfully they don't mind the sewing machine, because they're stuck in here with me. They leave the room every day just to make sure the rest of the house still exists, but they mostly stay in here and they don't complain too much. Because my daughter's cats are jerks. You're the only kid-minded one? Hey, I still sing Barney songs. I loved Barney when my kids were younger. Flying purple people eater. And we all live in a yellow submarine. A yellow submarine. A yellow submarine. My daughter, she's used to me just rambling, so she doesn't always listen to me when I talk. But then she'll come up to me, she's like, I got this song stuck in my head. Is it your fault? I'm like, what is it? And she's like, I'm like, yeah. My brain works where if you say one thing, I think about this, 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 and this, and it takes me over here. So you could say the color purple, and I'll come all the way over here, and I'll talk to you about chocolate chip ice cream because of word association. And I'll sing a song all the way through. And just my brain just bounces like that. So by singing a couple lines of a song, it gets it out of my head, and I don't have to have it rambling around in there all the time. Bet you there's a lot of songs that have purple as the main theme to it. But I always go to Purple Rain. The one that's been playing a lot on Instagram is that that gets stuck in my head, and I never get the words right. Instagram's usually the culprit for the earworms. I can't believe, is it really only 12:26? Feels like we've been here for 3 hours in a good way. I could never, I try to follow the tutorials just visually with those dances that they do and stuff on Instagram and TikTok. And I look at them and I'm like, nope, nope, nope. No, no, no. I would trip over my own feet. And I used to love doing we would roller skate a lot and do the dancing and spin around and do kind of like ice skating things and skate backwards. I had pretty good balance in my youth. And now, I'm so over the hill. My body says, nope, we ain't doing that. When Rob was dealing with all the cancer stuff, we had nurses that would explain to us the dangers, like how he would have to, anytime he went into a room like the bathroom or something, he would have to leave the door open because he had too much of a risk for falling or passing out. And if he passed out behind the door, they wouldn't be able to open the door to get to him. So a lot of the times now I'm like going on the step ladder in the closet. I'm like, okay, leave the door open because if you fall, first of all, ain't no one going to hear you scream. You're on your own during the day. But you don't want to block the closet door when you fall over. I've been having some type of a twitch in my right knee. I think I did something to it, popped it or twisted it. So I just have to be careful that I'm not stepping on the ladder. Because everything in the closet's up tall and I'm short, so I have to use a step ladder to get to a lot of it. So I always have to try to put my left foot up first because I'm just so broken down. Oh, BBC. Yeah, I like to do movies and TV series or podcasts or something because if I'm doing things and I don't want to stop, YouTube is not the thing because I don't have the premium red or anything, so all the ads come up. And I keep getting those ads that are all medical or if you're a woman and you weigh more than 180, we're going to start exercising on Monday or May 1st or whatever. But those ads are like 20 minutes long. And I get stuck, and if I can't get to them, I have to listen to them. It drives me crazy. I've been enjoying a lot of music lately, so I've been putting on 80s radio and stuff, like when I'm cleaning the house and doing dishes. I have a Bluetooth speaker. My daughter gives me, I think I mentioned it a few times, my daughter gives me gift cards for Christmas, and then I just buy what I want and on sale and stuff. I spent the last of my gift card. I have like $1.25 on this one and 68 cents on that one, but I spent the last of it just the other day. But I bought myself a nice little Bluetooth speaker or whatever they're called, so I could put it on the kitchen counter and blast the music. And it seems like the older music, my kids grew up with it, so they're used to it, but it's starting to become popular again. Simpler times as it goes. So I can like blast it, and if anyone's home, they don't care. They listen to it too. Oh, Our Girl? Yeah. I haven't watched Our Girl and Our Girl 2 in a long time. I found on the Roku channel Greatest American Hero. So I've started watching that. I loved that. But I can't get it on my tablet for some reason. So I can only put it on my TV. And I put headphones on when I sew. So, therefore, I can only watch it at certain times. I need to stop working now instead of working until 9:30 and then going to bed at like 10, 11, 12, 1 o'clock because I'm still kind of hyped up from sewing and stuff. And I haven't done any knitting in a long time. I have to start Robbie's Christmas socks, but I still have his Christmas fingerless mitts and stuff on the needles. But I pulled out new yarn for his socks. Mostly songs that he would sing. Oh, yeah. That was the hardest part after my Rob passed, was the different songs that had memories attached to them. Some were good and they were happy memories, and other ones were happy memories, but man, they made me cry. Did a lot of There was a lot of like sappy songs back in the 80s too. Those weren't the ones that necessarily bothered me. He liked to play on the guitar. Every Rose Has Its Thorn. So that one used to pop up randomly on the radio a lot, even though it's kind of old. I am at 7.5 by 5 on a lot of these. We're just probably going to go to whenever I say, whenever I'm like, okay, I've had enough. And I don't expect to actually finish sewing these like I normally do. Like this, yep, 7 3/4. But that's how it always is with me. They're rarely ever square. But if you trim up every round, you're always going to have a point. Because like the next one will go here, and that'll square it up more. A lot of the strips now from the second run for my Crafty Godmother, she had a lot of even strips. I don't know if they're, 2.5 inches. So things should build out pretty regularly. I should probably go through soon again and separate them out and pull out the smaller, narrower strips just to use them up. Bye-bye, Joann's. I know losing Joann's, to go back to, let's beat that dead horse a little bit more. Losing Joann's is a big deal. I loved Hobby Lobby. I was so sad when we lost that. And Ben Franklin Crafts. I have a feeling like Michael's. Oh yeah, the songs. Hi Yvette. Sorry, my tongue got stuck to the roof of my mouth. Hi Yvette Marie. I think Michael's, if they're not careful, might be the next one. They're trying to go a little bit too much like Hobby Lobby, and then they're trying to buy out a bunch of the Joann stuff they bought. So some of them, mine doesn't have fabric. At least it wasn't on the website to have fabric. Not yet, at least. I haven't gone up there because the one up the road for me here is pretty sparse. There is an Office Max that I want to go to up in that mall, so I'll probably stop up at Michael's at some point. But I know to run up in Joann's and get things is great, but Joann's isn't like the only place. And I know it's harder to buy online and stuff, but once you kind of know something, you know a brand, Joann's, some things, yes, said exclusively at Joann's, but other times I've seen it at Walmart, I've seen it at Hobby Lobby, some of the pre-cuts are at Michael's. A lot of the things aren't going to be gone. They're still going to be out there. Plus all the crazy people that are buying things up at Joann's when they were at the higher prices, jacking up the prices and trying to sell them to people online. They're going to be hurting because a lot of the exclusively for Joann's have been bought and switched to another company, so it's no longer going to be gone. Yeah, they're saying a lot of the Michaels are bringing it in. There was a website that I found from Instagram that you can go and see if your Michaels has fabric. I think there was something like 1,500 Michaels. That sounds like a lot. No. One Michaels had 1,500 fabrics, whatever. Anyways, there's a bunch of Michaels that has fabric, as in a fabric department and not just the pre-cuts. And I think from what I saw, if I remember correctly, more and more Michaels are going to be getting fabric. All I know is the Michaels that was right next to my house, like a half a mile away back in Florida, when they were in a big store, they went into where the other one. They went and bought out in that one space, and they had a big store, and they had a lot of yarn. And then they went to the small store by Walmart, and they got rid of most of the yarn. And like you couldn't find red yarn at Christmas time. So they would just stock weird random things and you couldn't get like the necessities. It was just really weird. Yeah, Joann's is great for last minute stuff and everything like that, but I think a lot of people, it's great for the new people and stuff. And when you just need a little, but it's so much cheaper even for all the yarnies to buy it from like Hobbii, Hobbii. Buy different yarn inspirations online and stuff, and you can get better deals, but it's nice to just go in and see stuff. Jody finished, yay! Dark blue and white. Oh, a giant bear paw. Fun, fun, fun. I used to do they would send you a kit for a kid's quilt. You put it together, you add the backing and the batting and stuff, quilt it, and send it back to them. I used to do that. That was really fun. All right. We're back again. What do we want to do now? Oh, when I was at the Dollar Tree, I did it. You won't be surprised. I found some more of the diamond painting. So this time it's this flowery keychain. 3, 6, 7 different colors. So I picked up one of these. I thought I would pull this out if I remember on the next live stream, on the non-lock cabin one where we're just kind of hanging out and doing whatever. So I'm trying not to get hooked on them, but I do like the little keychainy stuff. 40 by 40. You made it 50 by 50 by doing the border. Yep, yep, yep. Oh yeah, adding the fleece on the back is so fun. Yes, I thought this would be fun. This one's pretty thick feeling. Like the craft section, some of the stores in Florida were expanding their craft area, and the one that I went to just down the road, I would say the crafting section, if you didn't talk about the ribbon that's just randomly stuck over there and the little bits that's stuck over there, the actual crafting section is less than my arms, 2 arms width. It's not 5, 6 feet wide. It's just this small little section like this. And then you had areas like this whole long, like 5 feet long, 6 feet long area of paint. But when you're just talking like, yes, it's a whole aisle of crafting, but just the general where you can get little things like this and stuff, it was just really like this. Otherwise, there was a whole section of the wooden pieces. And, like I said, the whole section of paint and stuff. And I don't feel like I can consider that like an actual craft. Yes, it's a craft section, of course. But it's just, if it's 6 to 10 feet of paint, that's the paint section. It's not like a crafting section, in my opinion. Ooh. What shall we do? Ooh, let's do polka dots. That one's kind of short. Will that fit? Yeah, yes. Oh, jets are going by. I was thinking this morning, I hadn't heard the jets. I haven't heard the AC turn on either. Probably just because I've been yapping my jaw too much. The fiber dusty makes my nose itch. And this one can have pink. Oh, that's a red. We don't want that. I'm trying to look for some of the things that are already cut and see if they fit the length. Nope. 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 That's got pink there. Nope. 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 No, 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 no. All the ones that this would fit has like pink. That one will work. Wait, you have a Ben Franklin still? I thought they were gone, gone, gone. We have 2 Hobby Lobbies here. The new one, while it's huge, is not fabric huge. It's household goods and decorations and stuff. They have a lot of that. Even their Christmas section last year wasn't all that amazing. I want to go to the one that's, you know, over it's east to like Peoria and all that stuff where the Joann's is. I don't know if it's specifically in Peoria, but it's east. And I want to see what they have over there. Walmart does have some, but it's hit and miss depending on where you are. Like my Walmart is gone back to the pre-cuts, so they're no longer doing the, you know, get your own fabric cut because there's never anyone there at the counter to cut your fabric. So they do have some nice stuff, but my store has a lot of solids. And it's the same fabric all the time. The Wayward or whatever, I don't know. It's a name brand. It's a big brand that does like household fabrics and stuff, but they're using the second quality. Like Joann's has some, like Joann's didn't have Tula Pink, but if Tula Pink was at a quilt shop, then there was like a lower quality Tula Pink that sold at Joann's. So they did a lot of that. I haven't been to our quilt shops. It's just, I know myself, and there's some places that I should not go to regularly because it could be dangerous. Yes, I can control myself. Hi, Giovanna. I've been thinking a lot about you. I'm wondering, where's Giovanna? Kathy, you buy most of your stuff online. Yeah, I buy a lot of stuff online. The thing is, though, is sometimes I want to go into a store and I want to buy a quarter yard. I want to go and I want to buy 15 different red fabrics and I just want to get a quarter yard. Most of the places online you have to buy 2 yards, but you guys have shared a lot of places with me where you can buy just a yard. Your brain wasn't braining? A lot of time changes and stuff. How's your weather? I hope you don't have much rain and you're not flooded, because you guys get a lot of rain. Barb, you're late too? Hello, Barb. Everyone, 50 lashes with a wet noodle is what my grandma always said. So that's it. Knock, knock, I'm on a live stream. What do you need?
Do you have a big package coming?
Yes, I do, from Target.
It's here.
All right, thank you. You have it with you?
Yes.
Can you just put it? Oh, that is a big package. Yeah. Thank you, I appreciate it. It's FedEx. I haven't seen the text come by.
Fry's didn't have your brand of milk.
Fry's didn't have my milk?
No.
So, once again, did you get milk though?
I got milk.
Okay. Yeah, well, my milk is a Walmart brand.
Oh.
I just drink almond milk. It doesn't matter. But thanks.
I was going to text you about Almond Joy, but you were live streaming. So.
I love Almond Joy, but it's almond milk. Appreciate it. Thank you. Robbie's doing that overnight oats. He wanted to try it out because he leaves for work at got off early in the morning, 4:35 in the morning or something. So he's been using my almond milk, but he shops at Fry's and I get it from Walmart because they deliver it. So it's a Walmart brand and they didn't get it. But I placed it's a big box. I placed an order with Target because I needed new plastic bins. If you're one of my patrons, I'll ramble on about it tomorrow in tomorrow's video. And for everyone else, I'll show them afterwards. But I needed some plastic bins for storing my layer cakes. And I got some more of the ones with the little purple handles that I love. That are not this size specifically. I mean, if you want, I can open it up. You let me know. But I got containers similar to this. So you let me know. If you want me to open up my Target order, I will. Otherwise, maybe I'll show you some other time. Yeah, that's Robbie. He's my youngest. He just turned 26 in April, and he's like 6'5". I've been on since 11 o'clock, so we're coming up to 2 hours, Giovanna. We're getting close to the end. I'm working on 15 blocks this time. I think I sewed 3 of the fabrics on before the live stream started. I'm also expecting a phone call because I had problems with my upright freezer. My daughter and I purchased an upright freezer together. And let's just say the delivery guy couldn't figure out how to switch the orientation of the doors. He ended up with a problem so that the top third of the freezer door didn't close all the way. And he wanted me to keep it. I had to fight pretty hard for him to take it back. So Frigidaire, I got it at Home Depot. Frigidaire has to call me to reschedule a new delivery. Yeah, we've been chatting for, oh, the AC just turned on. Yeah, my kids are all, we kind of know when Rob and I, we were kind of, well, Justin's born in June and he's from my first marriage. Mandy and Robbie are April and May babies. So all 3 of my kids are April, May, and June. And Mandy and Justin are 10 or 11 days apart. It was hard when everyone was younger, you know, with gifts and birthdays and all that, but it's kind of nice now. It's like you get, all the birthdays are done. I'm February, and then we have April, May, June, and Rob was July. Everybody had their own month, and we were done with birthdays nice and early on. How about a little Hawaiian? A little Hawaiian. Ooh, Halloween babies. Love Halloween. So, do you guys not want me to open the Target box then? It's not exciting. It's not like it's fabric or anything. I am, like I said, trying to go through and figure out ways to use what I have, because I have some really cool fabric that I've gotten and really cool fabric that you guys have gotten. Yeah, I don't know. It wasn't a Home Depot truck, so I don't know, you know, where it came from and stuff like that. But the guy tried gaslighting me, and he was really pushing on the fact that you can't, okay, here's the freezer, right? We have it, we're gonna have it on this wall, and right over here is a hallway. So the door was going to open up, not into the hallway, but at the hallway. And my daughter wanted it to open the other way. Home Depot charges you a penny to change the orientation. And it doesn't have a handle on the door. It has those little hand grooves on the side of it, one on the left and one on the right. The one in the store opened from the left to the right. The one that was delivered to me opened from the right to the left. So we wanted it flipped. And at first when we were out at the driveway and he's like, oh, I'll flip it for you, no problem, if that's what you want. But I just want to let you know that anytime we flip them, that usually makes a lot of noise and stuff. And I'm like, I don't care. Freezer doors make noise all the time. It's no big deal. He's like, are you sure? Because, you know, you're blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, listen, we want it the other way. So he gets it in the house, and he's still giving me a hard time. It took him a half hour to flip the door. Now, we've changed the doors all the time. I've done it before. I've done it before when we moved from house to house. You can change the doors easily. It's not that big of a deal. It's just awkward because the door is like 6 foot by, I'd say probably a good 3 or 4 foot wide, because we got one of the big upright freezers. So I'm like, I can do it. But why not let the person who delivers stuff, who probably changes them all the time, let him do it? Well, apparently he wasn't able to do it, because whatever he did. So then he started, well, I told you that you can't change the doors, that they'll break and they don't work. I'm like, that's not what you told me. You guys know this is how I am in real life as I am in the videos. But if you keep pushing me and I have to be firm and loud with you, I have been known to say the F word. And my kids know if Mama says the F word, disappear because someone's in a lot of trouble and you don't want to be there for it. Because if I turn around and see you, you're going to be in trouble too. But he kept gaslighting me and telling me that it was my fault that the doors don't open that way. They're not meant to open. And I'm like, dude, there's handles on both sides. It can open either way. I said it opened that way in the store. And he's like, well, do you want the one from the store? I'm like, no, I want you to take this one and give me a new one. And he started in about how I don't get paid to deliver these things. I'm like, oh, you're doing it out of the kindness of your heart? Because I said, hey, if it worked the other way, just switch the door over, it'll be fine. I gave him an out, right? He didn't want it. He wouldn't take the freezer. He wanted me to keep a broken freezer that the door didn't close. I'm like, dude, get out of my house, you know? Get out of my house. I didn't think to record it. I should have recorded it, you know? Yeah, well, this one, it has a peg that, you know, it sits in and swivels like this. So you take the peg out and you put it on the other side. And it's hard to take a big heavy door and slide it in there and then to do the top one. They're meant to do that. They've been doing that since the 80s. I don't see what the problem was. So now I'm waiting. I have to wait for Frigidaire, because that's the company, to call and set up a new thing. I was hoping if they called that I would get it on here. I haven't seen it come across on the watch or anything, so hopefully they haven't called yet. I called Home Depot, and Home Depot says since we returned it, that Frigidaire, it got the old one back, and they have to set up the appointment to deliver the new one. I'm like, that's fine. They said she said they're really good about it. I had a very sweet girl. I'm starting to really feel old because I'm like, I had a really sweet young girl. She's probably in about her 20s or so. I'm like, gee, Robin, you're starting to talk like your grandparents now. So she was very nice. She says, Frigidaire is really good about it. They will call me, not to worry. I'm like, okay. So we'll see. Yeah, I didn't keep the broken one. We paid a lot of money for it. We got it on sale, but they're very expensive. And we wanted a big enough one for her and I to share, because right now the boys have the refrigerator where the top is the 2 doors and the bottom has the freezer, but it also has the ice tray in there, and there's not a lot of room, and the trays don't slide very easily. My daughter purchased one of those little small $100 and something deep freezers from Lowe's a few years ago. So they use that, but it's really narrow and it's kind of hard to get stuff. So we decided, I have the refrigerator on the bottom with the small freezer on the top. It's all right, but we want to do a bunch of meal planning, and I want to make some pizzas and muffins and cookies and soups and stuff to put in the freezer, because I only want to cook once a month and then I just want to reheat. So it's like, you know, we decided to splurge. We've been looking at a whole bunch of them, and I found this one again on Instagram because apparently I'm there too often. I'm really only there, you know, every night for about a half an hour, but I see a lot. And someone had a Hamilton Beach where they put a half a cow in there, and they still had room for frozen veggies, but we couldn't find the Hamilton Beach to look at it in person. And we wanted to stand next to the freezer, you know, put your arm in, see what it looks like. So we ended up getting Frigidaire, which is a good brand name too, so we're fine. It had the shelves, it had the doors to put food in the doors, and it had like skinnier and wider in the doors and stuff. So I'm like, okay, that's good. Because some of them have like this plastic door you open inside the freezer, and it has like a shelf, and other ones have plastic drawers you pull out, and we didn't want those because we knew those were going to break. So we have glass shelves, and then I'll put some plastic bins in my section to hold like frozen veggies and stuff. My daughter just wants space to put meal planning. I'm trying to teach her and push her towards like building up your pantry. She goes over to different friends' houses and she makes dinner and stuff, and she's always having to go and like buy pasta and buy sauce. I'm like, you really should kind of you eat a lot of pasta, you like to make meatballs and stuff, she makes turkey meatballs, I said, have those things in the freezer and pasta in the pantry so you don't have to keep running to the store. Because you know when we go to the store, we always buy something else, right? Well, it comes however it comes. I said, let me see what it looks like. I didn't check to see if the door was closed tight because they had like styrofoam everywhere and he hadn't done everything yet. So I couldn't see if the door was closed all the way before he flipped it. But he was using like this impact wrench and stuff, and he was like overkill. They said it took him a half an hour just to switch the door. And his partner, I'm going to say something that we're not supposed to say these things, but anytime I get a delivery, there's always one really tall and largely built black person and one short Spanish person. Anytime I've gotten appliances delivered, it's always a tall black person and a short Spanish person. I don't understand how it always ends up being that way. It's just strange. But it was the tall black person that he just couldn't figure it out. And the other guy, he just kept looking at him and looking at me and looking at him. And when I started getting a little forceful in my speech, the little guy ran out the door and he would not come back in for nothing. The other guy had to go out and get the little push trolley and stuff. The other guy is like, I ain't going in there. That lady crazy. I'm like, that lady be crazy. Boom, boom, boom. Paid $900 for your fridge with the freezer on the bottom. The house is a rental and it came with it. I paid $500 or $600 for the old-fashioned refrigerator with the freezer on top. You know, has 2 shelves in there. This one was, you know how they always jack up the price and then give you a sale? So this one was like $1,500 or $1,700 for it. And we paid $800 plus tax and delivery and all of that. I think it came out to like $900 because I gave my daughter $424 to split it. So $850. So I'm like, okay, that's a lot of money, but it's not bad. I paid $900 for my side-by-side. I had a really nice, huge side-by-side refrigerator in Florida, but it was on its last leg because we'd had it for 15 years. I'm cray-cray, you know. Hi, Anna. Oh, you're playing catch-up. So Anna, when she gets to this point, can everyone say hi? Oh, I can say hi. Let me see. I say hi, Anna. Sorry, no capitals. Can't reach those. So yeah, I'm very polite and nice, and I don't mind being screwed over a little bit. But when I pay a lot of money for something, I want it brand new. We bought our upright freezer in Florida when we first got the house, and it was our first upright freezer we've ever owned. We paid whatever, $700 for it or something. When Lowe's brought it, they put one of those belts around it and they cranked it down, and it ended up bending the handle. So instead of a handle, it was like cut in half and bent in, and the door got bent. So they called Lowe's and they said we had the option of getting a $200 refund, or they'd bring us a new freezer, but it would be 2 weeks. We're like, well, the mechanics of the freezer is fine. Yeah, we wanted brand new and everything, but hey, we saved $200. I said, give us a $200 discount because we don't want to wait. And that thing lasted 20 years. I ended up selling that before we moved. It needed something, it didn't get cold anymore, so it needed whatever they put in there for the Freon type stuff. Don't put the freezer on for at least 6 hours. Oh, yeah, Giovanna, if it's a refrigerator freezer and it's laying flat, you have to let it sit upright for 24 hours before you turn it on. If it's delivered in the upright position, you can plug it in and let it cool down, but you want to wait like 12 hours for it to get cold before you put anything in it. And it's so hot in the garages here. We had the deep freeze in the garage, but in the summertime, I touched it and I had that like, ooh, burning feeling on my fingers. I couldn't touch the metal because it gets over 100 here and it was hot in the garage. So we actually have them in we have this area that the cats play in. We don't even use it. It's like a dining room, living room area or something. So we just put all our appliances in there. Yeah, you take the discount and save some money. I mean, okay, we wanted something brand new, but it was brand new and it was going in the garage. It was going to get dirty and funky looking anyway. So it's like, whatever. We saw some nice freezers, Jody, with the bottom. And I really liked some of them. But we've learned that we don't do well. The refrigerator, it's the same. We looked at some of them at the store because we were waiting our turn to order something. And they have like this shelf that you can slide back so you can put big milk and stuff like that. The boys really struggle with space to have to put they do energy drinks and stuff. They like to keep a few in there at a time. And if you have a thing of juice that you buy at the store, and if you want to put we call them Kool-Aid pitchers. So if you put a 2-quart pitcher in there, and then if you want a gallon of milk, there's just not a lot of room in the one we have. So I think there's like extra large versions and extra small versions. There's like rental size ones that you don't spend as much money on, and then there's the good ones. So it all depends. There's been times where we've brought empty milk jugs and pitchers and stuff to the store, and we've put items in there to see how they'll fit. To make sure if you're going to spend that much money, you want to make sure you're getting what you want and what's going to work for you. Things get pushed to the back of some refrigerators, and like I have some dead spaces in mine that if you push things to the back, they'll freeze and I'll forget about them. So I have to be careful. But my daughter and I share the refrigerator too. Bye, Kathy. Yeah, Anna and I are like on the other side of Phoenix to each other. Yeah, that's if it lays down, Giovanna. From what I understand, from what we learned from everyone, as long as it's always kept in the upright position and you never tilt it too far down, but it doesn't hurt. It never hurt. If you're worried about it, it never hurts to let something sit there for 12 to 24 hours and then plug it in, unless like it's a refrigerator and you need to use it right away. I always ask the delivery guys, has this ever been laying down? Now, the guys that delivered it, he just looked at me and laughed, and I'm like, I'm serious. So he knew I knew my business. I just didn't want to have to use my vehicle to bring home. It's worth $100 delivery fee to have someone else use their energy in the big trucks than for us to try to get things on and off a truck and all of that. So I'm like, yeah, I'm just paying you to do this. I know how to do it. 10 p.m. It's bedtime. Bye. Filtered water. We thought we were the richest people in the world when we finally had an ice maker. We had tons of refrigerators with the capability, but when we were renting places, they were always broken. And when we had our own ice maker, oh my goodness, it's amazing. Have you seen some of them that are putting like M&Ms in the automatic ice maker to tease their kids? Some other kid had hooked up a keg of beer to run through the automatic water for his father so he could just put his glass up there and get beer. People are silly online. Yeah, you never know, Giovanna. It doesn't hurt to wait. It never hurts to wait. To let everything settle around. This is the 4th freezer because this is the main refrigerator, my refrigerator, the small deep freezer. I mean, we're only 4 people, but the deep freezer has a turkey in there, and then you can't fit like the cart. Robbie does a lot of frozen pizza, so it's hard to fit pizza in there. And my daughter wants to do meal prep. I've been talking her into, if you're going to prep your lunches and dinners for work this week, double it up and put the other ones in the freezer. And then at some point, you might not have to cook for an entire month because you'll have them all in there. And she gets tired of eating the same thing every day. So if you make 5 meals out of 2 different things, if you're already in the kitchen cooking and you got to clean up your mess, you may as well double it up. You know, you can make pasta for one and fajitas for the other, or tacos and fajita or something. You double it up, and then Monday you can eat tacos, and Tuesday you can eat fish and rice, and Wednesday you can eat fajitas. We all cook for ourselves, so everyone can just have whatever. I've just been craving pizza. I've been making pizza quesadillas, but I want to make pizza, and I want to make a bunch of just little personal pizzas and make like 20 of them. Well, pasta I wouldn't put in the freezer, but you can have it in the refrigerator. She likes to make like 100 meatballs. So all she has to do is boil a little pasta and she's good to go. She already has the meatballs made. And we buy jar sauce and then just doctor it up so that it's, you know, something that we like. I think we've been here a couple hours now, so I think this is like our last run here. I'll trim these up and then I'll release you to the wild. I also have to go do dishes for the day, and my tummy's hungry now. The only thing I've had so far today is I do a meal replacement drink in the morning. So I drank basically a chocolate milkshake at 7 a.m. and it's now 1. I'm a little hungry now. Yeah, you have to make a bunch of meatballs and stuff. You need to look at Jody's rearranging stuff. Your babies are hungry too? Mine are sleeping. They normally eat lunch with me about 11, between 11 and 12, but they know on 2 Saturdays a month, if mom's talking all day long, ain't nobody getting fed. Even S'morezies is sleeping. They've been like power eating in the morning and then they sleep until 4 or 5 o'clock. Which is kind of nice, but cats have such good sniffers. They know if I have like sour cream, they want sour cream. They like sour cream. All right, let me pick up my mess. I can hear the air running now. It's gotten warm enough now that I have to have a little fan going. I have a little tabletop one. I put it on top of a bookcase and aim it over here. It's far enough away. I can feel the breeze, but the breeze doesn't blow my fabric all over. When I first started using fans and quilting and stuff, I'm like, oh my goodness. Lay out all the fabric and the fan would oscillate over and all of my pieces would get blown everywhere. I'm like, oh no, that's not good. Ouch. My shoulder cracked. It's 10 p.m. and they're ready for their late night snack and off to bed. My favorite color? I'm really into aqua lately. My favorite color is basically bright, but I've been loving aqua. I like pink and purple, and I enjoy orange. So basically this is my favorite color, but I'm really been drawn to aqua. Aquas and teals, more aqua than anything. Peacock colors, things like that have really been catching my eye lately. So I think what I'm going to do today, instead of doing anything else, since I've made really good progress, my Patreon video's done. I'm very proud of myself. I got a lot accomplished this week, even though I spent one day out shopping. I was actually I did a little bit in the morning yesterday, and then I was able to sew for the rest of the day. So today I think I'm going to finish up these blocks, even though I put all that stuff away because I didn't think about it. I'm going to finish these blocks and then trim them all to 9.5, and they'll be all ready to go. And then I can add 47 and 15 is 63. Hold on. 62. So I'll have 62 out of 90. Maybe sometime this month I'll just do 3 more to put me up to 65. Now this quilt is going to just be a top, and then it'll sit there for a while. So Giovanna can yell at me. It's not going to be anything that is, yeah, I know. My mind went, it's 12, but then my mind went, is it 13? No, Robin, it's 12. So it's just going to sit for a bit. I'll need to piece the backing. I'll see if I can pull out some bright, colorful fat quarters or something. And then I only have part of I think I have a queen size batting. So I need to pull out all of the quilt tops and stuff and figure out how much batting I need so I can start maybe buying 1 batting a month or something. I don't want to see that big chunk. Unless once I put everything in the shop, if I sell a bunch of things in the shop, I usually will take that money and turn around and buy something larger that I need, like a bunch of batting or something like that. I want to try out those paperless towels and see how they do in the shop, and if they do well, I'll save that money. And I've had my eye on a couple different sergers, but I don't want to just buy a serger unless, you know, I earn it and I know it's something that I'm going to use regularly. If nobody wants to buy, you know, reusable paper towels or the Swiffer covers or anything like that, then I don't want to spend my money on a serger because they're a few $100s. I don't want to buy just to buy, you know. You have to be practical now. Well, we always have to be practical, but we have to really pay attention nowadays. No, I didn't go to Joann's. I chose to go to the Dollar Tree and Goodwill instead. I decided that if I went to Joann's and I couldn't find what I wanted, that I would be disappointed and I would feel like I wasted the 20-something minute drive to get there, when I can just run all my errands locally here and I can go to the Dollar Tree and Goodwill. Now, Dollar Tree and Goodwill are right next to each other, so it was no big deal. I didn't have to go like anywhere extra. It's Goodwill, Dollar Tree, and Burger King. Strange combination, but hey. I did not find anything at Goodwill. I was looking for clothes. I wanted to look for Hawaiian shirts, but the only Hawaiian shirts they had, first of all, they were $12.99 and $16.99, and they were things that had a brand name on them. So I've been looking for Hawaiian shirts that don't have a brand name. They would have like all the Hawaiian designs, and then it would say like copper tone on it. And I didn't want that. And I was looking for shirts with something different of a design that I could use to make makeup bags and boxy bags out of it, you know. I wanted something a little bit fun and different, just to like recycle and upcycle and reuse things. So I didn't find anything like that, but I did. I went to Dollar Tree and I got Ziploc bags and parchment paper, and I finished off the main part of my Advent for my friend. We are at the very beginning of May, and I basically, if I do nothing else, I have enough items for my Advent. But I want to put some handmade things in and add a couple of fun things here and there. If you're my patron, I kind of go over everything I already have. I could say it here because my friend would hear it, but then she would forget, so it's okay. But yeah, I was really excited to have my Advent all set. So now when I go to Dollar Tree, I can just go for fun and not specifically for that. I have an overcast for my machine, and that's what I'm going to use to start with, Jackie. And then if that works, I have it for this machine and for my brother, so I might use it on my brother because some people say it kind of, when you're doing that, it's even with the serger, you have to like surge for 45 minutes and then take a half an hour off and then surge again. I don't know if it was just her machine or if that's like common. So I'm going to try it on my brother first because, you know, this is my good quilting one. I don't want to like put the timing on a whack from just sitting there sewing around on paper towels and stuff. The serger will do, I don't want to say a better job, but I think it's a better tool for it. I've tried to get them on Facebook Marketplace and stuff, but even when it's been up there for like 5 minutes, I'm always like, you're 7th in line or something, or I already sold it. So I'm like, whatever. I'll keep looking at thrift stores. There's a few more thrift stores that are non-Goodwill to look at because I'm not paying. They have Walmart flannel shirts that someone's already worn. I can see how soft it is, but they're the same price as a Walmart brand new shirt. And I'm like, that's not going to work Goodwill. I just kind of go and look for something fun. I like to look at their baking section. I can usually find some Wilton pans at a good price. But yeah, so the serger's not high priority because I can still do it with my sewing machine. But I would like to, you know, have a serger. Now it doesn't cut, it just does the overcast. I did look for both the Juki and the brother, and they both, like I said, have an overcast foot, but they don't have the cutter. And it's fine, I don't mind. But I think a serger, based on the videos I've seen, would sew faster than, look, this one's 8 1/4 by 7 3/4. They really only need a round or two to finish them off. I think a serger would, like I said, if I sell 4 unpaper towels, then no, I don't need a serger. I can just do it on my sewing machine. But if all of a sudden everyone's like, oh wow, I love your flannel choices, or I love these or something, whatever, you know, you never know what's going to happen in a shop. If it became popular, it would make my life easier. But you just put things in your shop and you try them out, and if they work, great. If they don't, then there's no point in having that added expense as a just in case. Oh, I am not doing a rolled hem. I don't have a rolled hem foot for these machines. And I've seen some of them videos, and I know I'm not without a rolled hem foot. Most of them usually just serge around it. It's quick, it's easy. I personally am never going, I shouldn't say never, I don't use paper towels in the kitchen. I use paper towels for the cats. You know what I'm saying? I have seen some estate sales, hit and miss here. It's like Florida. Most people sell all of their stuff before they move here. So there's a lot, unless they're from this area already, there's not a lot of like really good estate sales. I've seen a few online, again, Instagram. There's a lot of Arizona people that post things on Instagram. Like all they do is post what you can do in Arizona. And it's a lot of jewelry and stuff. And it's like, it's not what I need. I mean, jewelry would be fun because I would do that kind of craft and make things with it. But, you know, I'm trying to one craft at a time. So we'll see. It's one of those things, again, the right tool for the right job, but it's not something I have to have. If someone knocked on my door and said, hey, Robin, I have a serger, I'd be, oh, thank you. That's very generous of you. But I wouldn't be like, knock, knock, knock. You got a serger? You got a serger? Hey, I need a serger. You know, bring me a serger. I'll try it. Like I said, it might not even be something that sells well in my shop. I might just stick with zipper pouches and mug rugs. Oh, and that. So for anyone who hasn't let me see if I find it again. I don't even know how you spell that. Does it want the echinacea flower on it? Echinacea. Echinacea flower. Tote bag. Come on. You can do it. Apparently I can't. Now I'm going to be very stubborn and I have to find this. I just saved it recently, so I saved so many things from Instagram. Can you tell I like bright colors and tote bags? People are so smart and so creative. Oh, look at these. Sorry, I'm stepping near you, so I'm making it go. We can just spend all day, oh, there it is. We can spend all day just looking at what's in Robin's saved. See, isn't that just, they take the background and, come on, it's all different low volume backgrounds, and then that blue, and I love the polka dotty fabric. It's just so pretty. So people are just amazing. Oh, here's a pink version. So what color do you think I should make first? Yeah, it's paper pieced. It's from, oh, this one is from The Wonderful World of Paper Piece Quilt Blocks by Liz Taylor Handmade. And it's also in, let me see if she has it in this one. It's the Love Quilting Mag, issue 136. So Love Quilting Magazine. It's designed by Unicorn Hearts. See it right there? So you can get a screenshot if you want. Oh, teal would be very pretty, wouldn't it? I'm not going to have that foam much longer. I think I'm going to turn it in and sell it because I can sell it for like $300-400. Just send to you. Yeah. Oh, hi, Olive Oil. Land's sakes, you caught a live stream. We're getting ready to finish up. Oh, this fabric, it would be fun to make a bag. I'm going to have some left over. I might do the, like the rail fence where you just sew a couple of them together and turn it into a bag. That's fun too. Everyone seems to like, I need to make a bag, a tote bag, because a few people have asked to show how I make I call them my diaper bag pockets, those slip pockets at the bottom of the bag. It's not, I mean, it's not like a pattern or anything of mine. So many people make it. I'll show you how I do it because I like it to sit a certain way in the bag, but you know, it's not anything spectacularly fancy or anything. I'll show you how to do it. But I need to make a purple cone flowers. Yeah, But it's also called the echinacea or something like that. It's part of the coneflower family, but it's this, you know. Where's Jody? I actually got men's triple X plaid flannel shirts at Walmart. Oh yeah, lots of fabric. I have a whole bunch of, Justin bought a bunch of men's dress shirts. He needed them for work, but he never wore them. Some of them still had the tags on them. So I saved all of them, and I'm going to use them to make some of the boxy makeup bags because one, I've washed them all, so they're 100% clean. And two, I'm not even like upcycling technically. I mean, I am, yes, but they're brand new. So if I have like 6 shirts, I think 4 of them were brand new with the tags still on them. He just never wore them, and then he lost all that weight, and they're way too big for him, and he doesn't wear dress shirts anymore. So he's going to throw them away. I'm like, I will take those. Oh, you're going to throw away your jeans? I will take those. Wow, that is a really good deal, Jody. I'd like to find that deal. I wear, my body size is a large. I buy extra large to have, you know, a little bit of breathing room. I would buy 3XL as a flannel shirt because they shrink in the wash. I would wear that around the house as like a shirt or jacket on top of my t-shirts just to stay warm in the winter. I don't care. I have certain things I wear around the house and certain things I wear out in public. I don't want to wear a 5X shirt out in public, but I will wear a 5X flannel shirt around the house. So what if it's big and baggy? Keeps me warm. Yeah, men's shirts, what was it? Bonnie Hunter has all kinds of things on her website on how to cut up the men's shirts and stuff. Yeah, natural fibers shrink. That's why I have to wash all of the flannel before I can cut it. Because when you're making the unpaper towels, you want to cut them. Most of the people cut them 10 by 10 and then serge around them either square points or rounded curves. And if you're making them for yourself, it's fine, but when you wash them, they're not going to be 10 by 10 anymore. They're going to be like trapezoidy, and one side could be 10 and the other side could be 8 3/4. So if you're going to sell them, you want to pre-wash everything. I don't want to spend all day, so I figure I'll take a few yards, throw them in the washer and dryer every few days, and see which ones I want to cut up first, and then go from there. That looked a little faded. I thought it was on the wrong side, but it's okay. I sew with the wrong side all the time. Yeah. We don't run the heater too much here, but I do thank you, everyone. I found the space heater that works for me at a price that was expensive, but I was willing. Okay, I paid $70 for it. That's not expensive, but that $70 is expensive when I only spend, you know, like $200 a month on groceries. So I got that space heater, and the girls and I, we love it. When I put the space heater out on the table, all the girls come up off the floor and they get at that level so they can feel the warmth and stuff. It's amazing. Yeah, they're great. My daughter gets random like t-shirts and stuff with designs on them. So I depending on what the design is, I save it. When we were in Florida, our neighbors they were running an estate auction house. So they would like buy out the entire house and sell it. She would bring me over garbage bags of clothes because she knew I took the clothes and turned them into quilts and tote bags and stuff. So she'd give me like all these Disney shirts with beading and embroidery and everything on it, and the shirts were stained, so I would take out the piece, and I have a bin somewhere in this house or garage with a big stack of those where I just saved like a Donald Duck, and I took enough fabric around it to do it, because there's no sense saving the clothes if, you know, they're stained or torn or something. So yeah, I had all kinds of stuff like that. I am looking for this. I thought while we're chatting I would clean my wool mat. Turn off the iron. Excuse me for reaching in front of you and being rude. My grandparents would say, you were raised better than that. So yeah, you just save the pieces you need. A lot of the times, like with the jeans, I would take just certain parts off if they were not quality-wise. I saw someone make a bag. They took the torn knees, or you know how in the thighs, some of the jeans you buy that are all torn up, they cut a big section out, they put the fabric behind it, they stitched around and removed all of the strings and then turned it into a bag. Like we would if you're still wearing the jeans, you put some fabric behind the kids' knees and stuff so they'd last longer. I don't use this too often on here, but this has a lot of fuzzies and stuff that needs to be cleaned up. I probably do this every few months when it just gets to be a bit too much. I saw a video, I saved it, I haven't watched it yet. She had spilt coffee on her mat, and when I watched the video, she's going to show me how to clean the mats. Mine are just starting to have, I don't even know if you can see it in the video, but it's a little bit stained here looking, like it's a little green. I think it's from the iron, from adhesives, from just fabric in general. But it takes the loose fuzzies off. I have a video on different ways from when I was in Florida, so it's, you know, a year or so old. Different tools that I use to clean the wool mats, if you want to look at that. Yeah, you can do a lot of things. Even if you have this big shirt, right? Let's say you're wearing an extra small dress shirt, and whatever happened to it, you got paint all over it, and you only have this much fabric that's good. Well, cut that fabric out and throw the rest away, and you know, you can use something of it. I saw, don't laugh at me, on Instagram, this lady took her daughter's leggings. She'd worn them out in the thigh and the knee area. So she took all of those stretchy cotton leggings, cut them up into rectangles, and made like a layered skirt for herself. One of the ones when you go like this, which you can't see me twisting my hips and stuff, but when they do that, the skirt can, you know, you swirl with it and it poofs out and everything. So she did it as a memory skirt so she can remember all of her daughters, because the different leggings had meanings and stuff to her. I thought that was really kind of cool. Definitely not my style or my daughter's, but I thought it was cool. This wool mat, we looked for it last time. I purchased it on Amazon a few years ago, at least over 2 years ago. It was in a bundle, and I think this is llama, if I remember correctly, but you can't buy it anymore. So I can't tell you where. Let me look it up. I can look it up on my phone easier. Let me look it up and see. Didn't we say it was like llama? I have a habit of going like this. Oh, look what I found. I thought, okay, it's $25.99 and I wouldn't spend it on that, but isn't that kind of cute? I just like the shininess of it. It's for the bookshelf. Navy blue heart hands decor for living room, bedroom, bookshelf, coffee table. I was in the mood for knickknacks because I was looking for things to put for my pictures, like little fake plants. Okay, so this one, it was a 3-in-1 set. You can't buy it anymore. It's a COOBE, and it's New Zealand wool. These have held up really well. There was a very slight smell when I first got them of sheepy sheep, but it was very mild. It didn't affect my asthma at all. And they've held up really well. I put interfacing and fusible fleece down on it all the time. Sometimes things get stuck to it and I just peel it off and clean it and everything works out great. So I really like these. Yeah, shrunken wool jersey. I've seen people do it with blankets and jackets. But I'm all set. I'm going to go grab some lunch. You guys can either have dinner, go to bed, have lunch, have breakfast. Thank you so much for hanging out with me while I worked on my blocks. Jody's the only one that's voted, but if anyone wants to leave a comment after we're done being live and let me know what you guys want to work on the next live stream. We might do mug rugs. I don't know. Sometimes I don't decide until Friday or Saturday. But thank you guys so much for always hanging out with me and for your support. I really appreciate it. Double check to make sure you're still subscribed to the channel because sometimes you get unsubscribed. Like the video, leave a comment now, come back, leave a comment later. Thank you to anyone on the replay that's made it this long, and enjoy your weekend. Don't forget to clean your sewing machine and change your needle. And if you haven't changed your rotary cutter in a while, if you're having to push really hard or you're having to go back and cut the little threads, new rotary cutter. Change your your cutting mat too. If you have a bunch of grooves in there, it's going to dull your rotary cutter and make it harder to cut fabric. That's my PSA for today.